Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2. Just kidding. Hey, good to see you, Josh Red, and you, Jam Jam. And Solar has been waiting patiently the entire time. It always astounds and amazes me when people show up immediately. Oh, thank you, Jam Jam. Well, as most of you know, last night and today have been pretty rough for everybody. Reasons. We don't need to get into it. All we need to get into is the fact that, boy howdy, we sure could go for some good times about now. And that is what I'm here for. To hang out, to read stories, and I have a little something fun and special planned if you're game for it. Do we still have the candy bowl? Yes. It's getting low. It's getting close to empty. Then I don't know when it will be refilled again, but the candy bowl is still around. No, you cannot have my dog. I forgot to post pictures of him in the Discord. I'll do that later. But aside from that, how are you guys? How are you holding up? Hopefully you've been okay. We have a Discord, that's right. We sure do. Bada beam, bada boom. Type in the Discord command on Twitch, and there it is, waiting. And still a feature incomplete, but you know what? At least it's somewhere. Hey. Hey, Jinx. Good to see you. How are you doing tonight? Oh, man. Everyone's here. It's very exciting. And Jam Jam is now grooving in the Discord. I think it's sweet. Me? I'm doing pretty alright. This morning, I of course was devastated, but then something sort of came over me as the day went on. Just, I knew what I had to do, which was basically bring as much happiness as I can, as much comfort and fun and joy, just to counteract everything, you know? Hello, Luxie. Day after birthday girl. We're all here. It's so nice. So yes, for tonight we do have plenty of yapping, and as you might have been able to notice, we did start a little earlier today, which means I will be with you for quite some time. Planning to be here for at least 4 hours. Any more than that, I'm liable to get cranky. Let's not do that. But lots of yapping. We've got books aplenty. And who knows what else we'll do. Of course, I do have the book we have been reading, which again has been The Fellowship of the Ring. But what would you all say to a choose your own adventure story? Please do not take the dog. He is happy and currently sleeping. Do not wake the dog. yeah, doing well, despite everything. Ah, oh boy. No, no, no buts. He is a happy dog. Let him be. You may pet him, you may cuddle, you may hold, but you cannot take. So, the question I pose for you all right now, oh my Luxie, is would we like to just start with the normal reading, or would you like to have some fun with a choose your own adventure narrated by yours truly? And of course, we'll interrupt midway and converse and yeah. All right, that's one for adventure. I thought this would be a fun idea after I dug around in the treasure trove of books that I have. I'm like, oh yeah, I still have these. I also found a large tome full of horror stories. So next year, when we get back to October, that one can definitely get a good spin, as it were. All right, looks like everyone else is relaxing already, so we'll start off with an adventure for Jam Jam. Now remember that these are going to be children's stories, so the language will be of that caliber, but we have 3 books: The Throne of Zeus, The Trumpet of Terror, and The Magic of the Unicorn. What would you like to start with, Jam Jam? Ah, with The Throne of Zeus. Very well. We start, of course, on page 1. Incorrect. We start on page 0, where it says, Beware and Warning. This book is different from other books. You and you alone are in charge of what happens in this story. There are dangers, choices, adventures, and consequences. You must use all of your numerous talents and much of your enormous intelligence. The wrong decision could end in disaster, even death. But don't despair. At any time, you can go back and make another choice, alter the path of your story, and change its result. Maybe I'll be nice enough to turn the page. Your parents have unearthed the fabled throne of Zeus in an archaeological dig near Athens, Greece, but they cannot prove it. You travel back in time to ask Zeus himself for the evidence. But reaching Zeus is not as easy as it sounds. Along the way, you may battle the ferocious Minotaur, soar through the skies with Icarus, join Hercules on his perilous escapades, attempt to rescue Persephone from the merciless Hades, or drive the chariot of the sun, if you dare. Good luck. We start with page 1. For months, you and your grandmother have waited for your parents to return home to Athens. Their archaeological digs often take them to distant parts of Greece, but they have never gone so long before. Your mother and father have unearthed a throne they believe was made for the ancient Greek god Zeus. They're convinced it is the first trace ever discovered of Olympus, palace of the gods. You were eager to hear about their excavations and see pictures of the throne. But now that your parents are home, they seem upset. The university has threatened to discontinue the excavation, says your father. We need hard evidence by the end of the summer to convince them that this throne could only have been made for Zeus. What kind of evidence, you ask? Turn to the next page. We need something that clearly links the throne to Zeus. A crown inscribed with his name would help. A stone tablet listing the laws of Olympus would be ideal, but we don't know if such a thing ever existed, your mother answers. Talk to Zeus, murmurs your grandmother, clearing the table. Hey, Solar. Good to see you. Have you ever talked with Zeus? You ask your grandmother later as you help her wash the dishes. A few times, she replies. On the summer solstice, the ancient gods take special interest in mortal beings. Sometimes they appear on Earth. Why, I have even walked with Zeus. Grandma? Grandma, I don't know how much I like that. Hey there, Solar. What's cooking? Some people that are good looking. And I do mean all of you. And what would be the issue, Solar? You're on your phone, right? Was that part of it? But yeah, right now we're doing a choose your own adventure book. You've forgotten how to count. Oh my. I think you forgot to add in numbers. But that's a good one. Very classic. Brooms. Tomorrow is the solstice, you say, shivering with excitement. Maybe I can talk to the gods. I can help Mom and Dad find the evidence they need. Since they won't ask Zeus for clues, I'll do it myself. But tell me, Graham, where can I find Zeus? I can't tell you that. She kisses you goodnight. You have to discover Zeus on your own. All right. You wonder where you might find Zeus. You can't envision him appearing in your modern apartment, but you can imagine him striding comfortably through an ancient temple. You decide to spend the summer solstice at the Acropolis, the site of the famous temple ruins overlooking Athens. You know, there is something wonderful about ancient temples. Long, long ago, I actually visited a country called Guatemala, and we did climb up the temple steps, going to the various different parts inside that deep, dense jungle, with some parts uncovered and cute little animals called bisotes running around. Yeah, it was super cool. You want to design a temple? Ah, so fun. And of course, you know how excited I was when a game called Forewarned came out, which is basically Phasmophobia. But instead of going into houses, you are raiding ancient pyramids, looting temples. It's so fun and cool. And of course, being attacked by mummies. Now, if only they added in different countries to explore. That'd be cool. After telling your grandmother of your plans, you wait until late afternoon to go to the Acropolis. There are many tourists snapping pictures of the marble ruins, but you know from previous visits that the guard will usher everyone out at 5 o'clock. You survey the area as you plan your course of action. Chain link fences encircle each of the ancient sanctuaries. The Parthenon is the largest, most important temple, and the one you think Zeus would most be likely to visit. Unfortunately, it also attracts the greatest number of people, and you'll have a hard time entering it unseen. Maybe you should try the sanctuary of Artemis Rauronia. There aren't as many people around it. And here comes the first choice. If you think it is safer to hide in the sanctuary of Artemis Rauronia, turn to page 11. If you decide to sneak into the Parthenon, turn to page 40. Choices are page 11 and page 40. I will be going to the first page I see in chat. Choose wisely. Page 11 says Jam Jam. There we go. Casually, you stroll around the remains of the shrine of Artemis Brauronia, hoping the other visitors will soon leave. At last, when no one is watching, you dart under a half-fallen pillar and wedge yourself between two gigantic blocks of stone. By twisting your neck just a bit, you discover that you have a clear view of the Parthenon across the way. Mordor. Although it makes you extremely uncomfortable, you wait quietly as the guards make their rounds. The setting sun casts a rosy glow on the marble ruins, but you are not in a mood to admire the scenery. Soon after the moon rises, you notice a soft light radiating from the interior of the Parthenon. At first, you think it must be from a flashlight of a night watchman, but then you begin to wonder if it could be Zeus. If you decide to investigate the source of light, we go to page 13. If you decide to stay right where you are, we turn to page 29. Solar, I believe in you. I believe that you will win this next competitive match you go into. That you will rise above. You will get an ace at least once during that match. We turn to page 13. If you do it, and if you win, I'll give you a kiss. That's right, Solar, got an ace now. You run towards the Parthenon and clamber over the fence. Breathlessly, you stumble up the steps. Behind the pillars, the light is pale and misty. A tall woman in white robes stands at the center of the temple. Turn to page 18. Welcome to my temple, the woman says warmly, as she offers you her hand. You're too frightened to take it. You barely manage to stammer, "You're not Zeus?" She laughs. "Of course not. I'm Athena, daughter of Zeus. If you wanted to meet my father, you shouldn't have come to my temple." Gingerly, you take her hand. You are surprised to find it feels remarkably like your mother's. "Can you take me to Zeus?" you ask. "I can bring you back to ancient times and give you the power to speak and understand the language Athena offers. But you'll have to find Zeus on your own." "How will I know where he is?" "I can't tell you where to find Zeus," Athena explains. "The trick is to attract his attention by doing something he'll find exciting." She thinks for a moment. "I know two people who are about to have intriguing experiences. Persephone doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be spending a lot of time with Hades, one of Zeus's brothers. Icarus is on the island of Crete right now, and he's, well, let's just say he has an adventure ahead of him. Would you like me to take you to Persephone or Icarus?" If you answer, "I'd like to meet Icarus," we will turn to page 7. But if you say, "Please take me to Persephone," we will go to page 8. And again, the first page I see is page 7. Close your eyes, and I will take you to Crete. You'll like Icarus, says Athena. Placing her hands on your shoulders, she spins you around until you become almost unbearably dizzy. Finally, Athena releases you. You find yourself in a narrow passage with high stone walls. There is no ceiling, and the sky above you is dazzlingly blue. A startled man and boy, both draped in loose white clothing, are staring at you. I've been in the sun too long, Icarus, says the man, rubbing his forehead wearily. I'm having visions. No, you're not, you cry. Athena brought me here to find Zeus. You've come to the wrong place if you're looking for Zeus, says the man bitterly. I don't suppose Athena sent you any water, did she? You shake your head. If this isn't just like the gods, comments the man. They don't bring you water when you're dying of thirst. No, instead they bring you a visitor in funny clothes. Maybe Athena brought the visitor to help us escape, suggests Icarus. And he tells you, don't mind my father. He's upset about our problem. What's wrong? A few years ago, my father, Daedalus, built this labyrinth for King Minos to imprison the Minotaur, a horrible beast that is half bull and half man, Icarus explains. Only now, King Minos is angry with us, and we're stuck in the maze too. There are miles of corridors, but only one way out, adds Daedalus ruefully. Unless we escape soon, we will die of thirst or be eaten by the Minotaur. Let's get going, you exclaim. We've got to get out of here fast. There's no sense in moving about, snaps Daedalus. At best, you'll only make yourself thirstier, or at worst, you'll meet the Minotaur. Calm down and help us think of a solution. If you answer, I'm sorry to leave you, but I want to get on with my search for Zeus, we turn to page 20. If you decide to stay with Icarus and Daedalus, we will turn to page 24. First number I see will be where we go. Page 24. You, Daedalus, and Icarus sit in the labyrinth in silence. After a few hours, you begin to wonder if Athena has abandoned you. You think about dying and imagine floating past the walls of the labyrinth and beyond. That's it, you shout, jumping to your feet. The way out of here is up. And what do you suggest we do? Fly? Daedalus asks sarcastically, rolling his eyes. We won't fly, we'll walk, you tell him. If Icarus climbs on your shoulders and I climb on top of his, I should be able to reach the top of these walls. Once I'm on top, I'll be able to see a way out and I'll lead you. Icarus slaps you on the back. I knew you'd save us. You wait until twilight so you will become less visible. Then, you climb on top of Icarus and Daedalus, falling off a couple of times before managing to hoist yourself to the top of the wall. You survey the maze. Within minutes, you find a way to reach the entrance of the labyrinth. Balancing carefully, you walk along the top of the walls as Icarus and Daedalus follow below. When at last you leave the maze, you hug each other jubilantly. I know some caves on the coast where we can hide until we figure out a way to escape from the island, says Daedalus. You're welcome to come with us, or you can visit the palace of King Minos right over there. Minos may know how to find Zeus. If you head towards the palace, we will turn to page 36. If you go with Icarus and Daedalus, we'll turn to page 51. Choice, once again, lies with you. 36 and 51. I wonder what you'll choose. Page 36, we will go to the palace. You say goodbye to Daedalus and Icarus and head for Minos' palace. From outside, the palace is not nearly as impressive as you thought it would be. Inside, however, the walls are vividly painted with large scenes of acrobats, dolphins, and monkeys. You wander through the brightly decorated corridors, occasionally poking your head into the rooms you pass. In one room, you spot a pile of coarsely woven tunics. To avoid rousing suspicion, you substitute a tunic of your own, a tunic for your own clothing, and hide your things at the bottom of a pile of tunics. Feeling more confident now that you are well disguised, you ask the first servant you see to lead you to the king. The stone benches along the walls of the throne room are filled with people. Minos sits on a special throne, also carved of stone. It looks a little like the throne of Zeus your parents discovered, but it's much smaller. Kneeling before Minos, you introduce yourself and ask, "May I become your servant?" Even the most stupid person in Crete knows the king should not be approached so boldly, says Minos scornfully. I could have you killed for such impudence. Where are you from? You pause as you struggle to decide how to respond. He might be impressed if you tell him Athena brought you to Crete, but on the other hand, he might think you're lying. If you say, Athena brought me here so I could look for Zeus, we'll turn to page 43. You reply, I'm an orphan from the other side of the island, we'll turn to page 69. Jam Jam, we have to hear both choices. But okay, we will turn to page 43. Minos raises his eyebrows. Athena brought you here. What business do you have with Zeus? I live thousands of years in the future, you say. My parents are trying to prove they discovered Olympus, but everyone thinks they're crazy. I came to get help from Zeus. Nervous laughter fills the room, but Minos ignores it. He leans forward and eyes you intently. Tell me about life in the future. Well, you pause, wondering where to begin. We have machines that carry people through the air. We also have machines that carry people over land. They're like little chariots, I guess. But they don't need horses for power. We have rockets that travel through outer space, and people have even walked on the moon. Humans have stepped on the moon? Asks Minos incredulously. Yes, you assure him. And we've sent spaceships to Mars and Saturn. This is fascinating, says Minos. Never mind becoming a servant. I want to hear more about the future. Your knowledge will help my kingdom prosper. You spend the rest of your life at the palace of Minos. Under your guidance, Crete becomes an unusually advanced civilization. You're proud of your contribution, but sometimes you awake in the middle of the night and wonder why Athena abandoned you and if your parents were ever able to prove their archaeological discovery. The end. Well, it appears that path is ended. That kind of reminds me of a little game called Evo, The Quest for Eden, for the Super Nintendo. At various points, the bosses of the game will offer you a chance to join forces, and if you say yes, you get a little ending snippet of how life will change because you join them. And one of them, of course, is becoming technologically advanced. everything of the sort. Yeah. Well, better luck next time. Hey, Core. Good to see you. How are you doing today? Still, that was fun. We just got done with one path in a choose your own adventure story. So, that was fun. We ended up becoming advisor to King Minos and advancing Crete into being technologically advanced in the past. So that's kind of funny. It appears my internet's being a little temperamental tonight, but that's okay. Looks like it's still trying to hold out. Mm-hmm. And of course, we still have our other book to read. It's raining. Oh. That's interesting. Now, over here, it's only getting colder. Lots of wind as well, but never really rain. Well, it could also be you. But it is also me. Because unfortunately, my ISP does like to not be the most functional thing. You're tired? Me too. But that is also why I'm here. Because it is one thing to be tired, but sometimes you just can't relax. I'm here to solve that issue. Let's see. I did talk about ancient temples earlier. I just think they're so cool. For a setting to take place in, I just really like the idea of spelunking and exploring ancient tombs and finding treasure. Actually, the other day, I was listening to a YouTube channel. The temple run was fun. It was let me look it up. No, not you, Steam. Doing a quick search of my history. Egypt. Overly sarcastic productions. I enjoy listening to them sometimes. Very great to have on in the background, but also to learn. And for their Halloween special, covered mummies. Basically, how they are, or how really they evolved in terms of stories and movies being told about them. How ancient curses evolved and the understanding of them, and apparently people used to have corpse parties. You know, just dig up an old pharaoh, stick him in your yard, and be all like, "Oh man, everybody come over. We're gonna unload this guy." It's a little weird. I should watch or listen to Epic the Musical. Let's see. Epic the Musical. Ooh. That's right. Literally, they would just set up like sarcophagi inside of a dedicated party room and invite people over. and just actually open up. You know, check out the body, autopsy it. People found entertainment back then, I guess. In whatever. It's about Odysseus' story? Ooh, that is interesting. And Odysseus did definitely have it rough. Just trying to get back home. Everything just gets hurled his way. Definitely rough. Oh, mind me. Just drinking a little bit of water. You know, oh yeah, definitely super loyal. Even if he had to do a bit of a test, but he was loyal and so was she, doing their best to hold out as long as they could. And in the end, being rewarded for it. And getting his home back, and cutting down all of the suitors and stuff, and being all like, nope, get out of here. You're dead now. You're not taking this away from me. There's a reason why the Odyssey is one of the great stories. Sometimes you just have to stab a pantheon god. There, Core. So the Odyssey is the story of Odysseus, a man trying to get back from, was it Troy? Battle of Troy? And on the way back, as he's trying to get home, it's a very long sail to get back to where he is, he does piss off Poseidon. And so, can I read it someday? Actually, that's a good idea. Yeah, we can go and read some myths and legends and all sorts of fun lore. I'll see if I can't find a copy of it somewhere. Ah, it's definitely exciting. And that way, instead of just getting the Cliff Notes version, yeah, no, we'll just hear the whole thing. It's funny how much comfort we can take by looking into the past. Like earlier today, I was watching a video about talking about the aesthetics of the 90s and stuff, and what a time. Stuff was cool back then. Clear electronics, exposed stuff, and the internet was so much different back then. I wouldn't necessarily say it was user friendly, but it was wild, it was new and fresh. And Vaporwave is still cool, and all the other cool aesthetics that came out of there. Oh man, simpler times. I don't know if I can necessarily say better times, but they were fun. What sort of internet aesthetic do you enjoy the most? I know lately Frutiger Arrow has been making a comeback with its soft, glassy aesthetic, sounds. That's always nice. You like the Greek aesthetic? That's pretty cool, Jam Jam. Compared to now, you'd say and was somewhat better, I would kind of be inclined to agree. Kidcore. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the problem is the more time that has passed, more people have been with the internet for longer and thus understand it better, and then more and more generations get on there. And we've tried to tame it, and things and people are fighting against it, and so there's just every which thing everywhere. We got some good things out of it, but a lot of the internet does feel kind of homogenized. Still, we're fighting for our creativity and our fun, and it's still there. Nothing's been tamed. I said people are trying to, not that it has been. Just got worse, and why else? Still. Can you pet the dog? Yes, you can pet the dog. You just cannot steal him. He is a good boy and deserves lots of love. It is quite a serious topic, but, well, let's see. Let's look up kidcore. Oh, yeah. Rainbows, the fun aesthetic. The little vibe. That's such a cute emote. I did not. Let me see if I have one on hand on the computer. I can post. Looking at pictures of the dog. Those are pictures of me. Can't have that. Absolutely not. Aw, Mia. What a cute cat. Miss that cat. Oh, it's a nice picture, but there can be better. But the childish aesthetic is nice and comforting, and there's also a vibrant array of colors. That's true. Yeah. It's a vibe, that's for sure. That's a funny picture of him, but I don't know if that's really the best example I can give. Oh, when he's sleeping. Yeah. All right. Put in that one. All right. Jam Jam. Those are lovely cats. And there he is. He's a very sweet, sweet bean. I asked this question earlier to people, but if you could have a pet that was not a dog or a cat, what would it be? I've always liked a ferret or a hedgehog. Unfortunately, apparently can be very, very smelly. But also, you know, would be really, really cool? A capybara, the chillest little guy around. An albino python, hey. One of my best friends has a snake, and they are very sweet. Love to coil, and they're not too fussy, so that's always nice. And then, of course, there's plenty of fish. You would have a wolf or a bear. Oh, that's a little dangerous. Well, the wolf, at least, would be pretty fine. People have wolves all the time. Bear, an otter. Oh, otters are so adorable. And Mia SCX, thank you for the follow and welcome in. I agree with wolf being based. Wolves are really cool. Oh man. A Black Panther. Alright. I mean, I did say not a cat. And that's a very, very big cat. Majestic, though, extremely. Just thinking about nice things. You could make a pig. Should get follower alert soon. Yeah. No, it's for me to know and for you to find out when I announce it. Just kidding, I'll get there. A pink panther. Well, that's a throwback. As I now think of saxophones blaring in the back, nice, smooth, and jazzy. Shenanigans away. That's right, Core, just like the cartoon. Although, with the mention of otters earlier, I'm now thinking about aquariums. I gotta say, I really, really love aquariums. Like, I think one of the top dates I want to do is I would love to go to an aquarium together. Not just any old aquarium, though. Maybe to any old aquarium, but I remember going to the Monterey Bay Aquarium and just being blown away at how big it is. There was so much to see, so much life there. There are various different kinds. Ever been to one before and you haven't been to one in years? Very understandable. It's been a while for me too, but oh man. It's really, really cool. So much fun. And then I remember seeing jellyfish in the dark room glowing, just silently wafting through the air. All the fish going through the shark tank. It's like a water zoo. That is exactly what an aquarium is. It is less stinky, but there certainly is a very fishy scent. Never been to a zoo either? That's fair. It's been even longer since I've been to a normal zoo. Did not get the ace, but you won? Hey. Great job, Solar. For that, I told you you'd win. Fantastic job. Only fishy when you go near the open tanks. The other cool thing about that aquarium, though, is there's a part where you can step outside and see the ocean interconnected with the actual aquarium. And there's sea lions that like to hang out there on top. You can see some dolphins too. Just swimming and flipping around and having fun. Dolphins themselves are a interesting topic, but I still think they're pretty cool. Minus the trauma. Because unfortunately, I played Echo the Dolphin. And that gave me a healthy fear of being in the middle of the ocean. Where are we going? Well, there are several different or aquariums to go to, all across the world. Dolphins are kind of mean, it's true. They also like to beat up pufferfish, specifically to get high. Oh, goodness gracious. My connection. But we're gonna keep going for as long as I can until my internet says you can't anymore. Oh no, not the Twitter. That is true. It is there. Meanwhile, Jam Jam is singing Frozen and may need to restart. I'll start using it soon, I promise. Make a nice introductory post and then actually announce times and make pictures. I agree. I agree with that, Solar. Connection can sometimes be a little rough, but super sweet. I ever touched a stingray? As it turns out, I have. They're very interesting to the touch. Very slick is the good word for them. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I can do for an aquarium and zoo. I feel like I have a good idea for a compromise. What day? Eventually. Well, we'll pin that down later. All right, everyone. I'm going to take a little bit of a break just so I can relax, drink some water. I will not take more than 3-4 minutes. So, get up, stretch a little bit, drink some water like me, and I will be right back. Yeah. See you in a bit. I was going to keep taking a bit more of a break, but then it turns out that Jam Jam actually has a straight up raccoon close by. That's funny and pretty crazy. We don't really get raccoons around here. They don't really live in the area. But we do have plenty of rabbits and hares. There are sometimes coyotes, some scorpions and snakes. Oh, goodness, my connection. Oh, no. And YouTube is just having the worst time with it. And apparently there are more. There's more than one raccoon. Raccoons are such silly little guys with their masks, and they like to hold things and wash them, and it's super cute. I remember that one video where someone gave a raccoon cotton candy. There's a major glitch. Uh-oh. Ah, man. Like with Stray or just in general? Oh, there are more. They're basically trash puppies. It's true. Stop now? Okay. Keeps up though. Ah, I don't know. That's a possum. Jam jam. Jam jam. The whole forest is coming to visit. Next thing you know, there's gonna be a deer. Stream was repeating the last thing I said. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. A possum. Look in the Discord. Oh yeah, this is. Oh no. How did I fix this? Well, we can just hope that does not continue. Ah, what was. Do you think if you spam the duck soundboard enough times you can summon a duck? They're always listening as they waddle around. Have you ever seen Dash Duck Solar? Now that's a fun stream. I'm not gonna say go there instead, but it's fun to watch sometimes. Let's see. My brother used to have ducks. He raised them from little babies. So cute. Now he has chickens. Many, many chickens. My local park has plenty of ducks too, and geese. The geese, however, do scare me. Can be pretty confrontational sometimes, and loud, and bitey. Ignore the sound of my chair cracking. Oh no. Is there actually? Oh, there's the deer. As they say, oh dear. Well, I think it's about that time. What chair? You heard no chair? Atta girl. We'll just go ahead and start again from the top of Chapter 5, A Conspiracy Unmasked. Now we had better get going home ourselves, said Mary. There's something funny about all this, I see, but it must wait till we get in. They turned down the fairy lane, which was straight and well kept, and edged with large whitewashed stones. In 100 yards or so, it brought them to the river bank, where there was a broad wooden landing stage. A large flat ferry boat was moored beside it. The white bollards near the water's edge glimmered as the light of 2 lamps on high posts. Behind them, in the mists of the flat fields, were now above the hedges. The water before them was dark, with only a few curling wisps of steam among the reeds by the bank. There seemed to be less fog on the further side. You think you have a zoo in your backyard? I think you have a zoo in your backyard. With all the animals that are showing up there, goodness gracious. Definitely seems like it. Ah, I think my last zoo experience was actually. Rest well, Solar. It was good to see you. Wait, there's an armadillo? Oh, never mind. Wait, wait, those are actual armadillos. Wow. Jam Jam. What's with that? Oh, that's funny. But yeah, my last zoo type experience was actually a car safari in Guatemala. Basically, you load up into your own car and then drive it through a little man made savannah. Just remember not to go out. You can get up nice and close with lions and elephants, all sorts of wild animals. I actually see a lot of videos of people opening their windows and like eating giraffes and stuff, then having everything stolen. That is so many raccoons. You can see Simba. Are they in Jam Jam's yard? Oh, that's funny. Mary led the pony over a gangway onto the ferry, and the others followed. Mary then pushed slowly off with a long pole. Brandywine flowed slow and broad before them. On the other side, the bank was steep, and up it a winding path climbed from the further landing. Lamps were twinkling there. Behind loomed up the Buck Hill, and out of it, through stray shrouds of mist, shone many round windows, yellow and red. They were the windows of Brandy Hill, the ancient home of the Brandy Bucks. The ferry boat moved slowly across the water. The Buckland shore drew nearer. Sam was the only member of the party who had not been over the river before. He had a strange feeling as the slow, gurgling stream slipped by. So, we are restarting Chapter 5 of the Fellowship of the Ring, as once again, I found the box set of books on sale, and I had never read them before. And I've honestly been having such a good time reading these. There's so much more detail and lore that, as detailed as the movies were, you just can't get to hear inner thoughts and so much. You're going to keep them? All right. I'm sure you'll have no problems feeding them. All the army of raccoons, the possum, the deer, the armadillos. That's a lot of animals. Can they watermelon? Yes. Yes, they can. In fact, they would probably love watermelon. His old life lay behind in the mists. Dark adventure lay in front. He scratched his head and for a moment had a passing wish that Mr. Frodo could have gone on living quietly at Bag End. That is true, Core. Look at Discord. Oh, fine. Scared. Oh, okay. I'm no longer scared. It's a raccoon eating watermelon. That's super cute and sweet. 4 hobbits stepped off the ferry. Merry was tying it up, and Pippin was already leading the pony up the path, when Sam, who had been looking back, as if to take farewell to the Shire, said in a hoarse whisper, "Look back, Mr. Frodo. Do you see anything?" On the far stage, under the distant lamps, they could just make out a figure. You'll name him after me. It looked like a dark black bundle left behind, but as they looked, it seemed to move and sway this way and that, as if searching the ground. Then crawled, or went crouching, back into the gloom beyond the lamps. "What in the Shire is that?" exclaimed Merry. "Something that is following us," said Frodo. "But don't ask any more now. Let's get away at once." They hurried up the path to the top of the bank. When they looked back, the far shore was shrouded in mist, and nothing could be seen. "Thank goodness you don't keep any boats on the west bank," said Frodo. "And horses cross the river. They can go 10 miles north to Brandywine Bridge. Or they might swim," answered Merry, "though I never heard of any horse swimming the Brandywine. But what have horses to do with it?" "I'll tell you later. Let's get indoors and then we can talk." "All right. You and Pippin know your way, so I'll just ride up and tell Fatty Bulger that you are coming. We'll see about supper and things." "We had our supper early with Farmer Maggot," said Frodo. "But we could do with another." "You shall have it. Give me that basket," said Merry, and rode ahead into the darkness. Again, I just love how much hobbits love to eat and how communal they all are. At least, again, certain families and places. It was some distance from the Brandywine to Frodo's new house at Crick Hollow. They passed Buck Hill and Brandy Hall on their left, and on the outskirts of Buckleberry struck the main road of Buckland that ran south from the bridge. Half a mile northward, along this they came to a lane opening on their right. This they followed for a couple of miles as it climbed up and down into the country. Just raccoons in disguise. Little bandits. Got a big appetite? I used to have a big appetite. These days, not so much. Large meals will fill me up even faster, and then I will not be okay afterwards. But sometimes it is nice to indulge. What is your favorite food? I think for me, it always depends. I love chicken katsu with a good curry. But I also love, jam jam. Goodness gracious. Amateur tummy, that's right, no competitions for me. Goodness gracious. But yeah, I love stuff like chicken katsu, broccoli beef, with some good old fried rice. I love tri tip and burnt ends. You love spicy food. That's nice. Core. Oh wait, you meant actual food. Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, it does. I love it so much. At last they came to a narrow gate in a thick hedge. Nothing could be seen of the house in the dark. It stood back from the lane in the middle of the wide circle of lawn, surrounded by a belt of low trees inside the outer hedge. Oh, don't worry about it, Core. Don't worry about it. Frodo had chosen it because it stood in an out of way corner of the country, and there were no other dwellings close by. Let me. You could get in and out without being noticed. It had been built a long while before by the brandy bucks, and for the use of guests or members of the family that wished to escape from the crowded life of Brandy Hall for a time. It was an old-fashioned, countrified house, as much like a hobbit hole as possible. It was long and low, with no upper story, and it had a roof of turf, round windows, and a large round door. Actually, there is a place in Zillow that we found way up on the East Coast that was like a sort of campground type place with various different homes that you could stay in. You had some tree houses that were very pretty. There was a Harry Potter tent, like that you could slide down and was bigger on the inside. But they had two different hobbit houses there. So cool. The large round doors, the low ceiling, and just that lovely aesthetic that you find in the movies. Oh, jam jam. As they walked up the green path from the gate, no light was visible. The windows were dark and shuttered. Frodo knocked on the door, and Fatty Bulger opened it. A friendly knight streamed out. They slipped in quickly and shut themselves in the light inside. They were in a wide hall with doors on either side. In front of them, a passage ran back down the middle of the house. Well, what do you think of it? Asked Mary, coming up the passage. We have done our best in a short time to make it look like home. After all, Fatty and I only got here with the last cartload yesterday. Let's see. What are you talking about? Oh no, more art coming my way. I don't deserve this. Alright. Didn't hear that. Frodo looked around. It did look like home. Many of his own favorite things, or Bilbo's things, they reminded him sharply of him in their new setting, were arranged as nearly as possible as they had been at Bag End. It was a pleasant, comfortable, welcoming place, and he found himself wishing that he was really coming here to settle down in a quiet retirement. It seemed unfair to have to put his friends to all this trouble, and he wondered again how he was going to break the news to them that He must leave them so soon. Indeed, at once. Yet, that would have to be done that very night, before they all went to bed. It's delightful, he said with an effort. I hardly feel like that I've moved at all. All those emotes. Those are cute, Jam Jam. The travelers hung up their cloaks and piled their packs on the floor. Mary led them down the passage and threw open the door at the far end. Firelight came out with a puff of steam. A bath, cried Pippin. Oh, blessed Meriadoc. Which order shall we go in? Said Frodo. Eldest first or quickest first? You'll be last either way, Master Peregrine. Trust me to arrange things better than that, said Merry. We can't begin life at Crick Hollow with a quarrel over baths. In that room, there are 3 tubs, and a copper full of boiling water. There are also towels, mats, and soap. Get inside and be quick. Mary and Fatty went into the kitchen on the other side of the passage and busied themselves with the final preparations for a late supper. I froze. And how can I fix this? What can I do to prevent this from happening more? Never mind. Oh, we're good. Nice. Snatches of competing songs came from the bathroom, mixed with the sounds of splashing and wallowing. The voice of Pippin was suddenly lifted up above the others in one of Bilbo's favorite bath songs. They have bath songs. There was a terrific splash and a shout of "Whoa!" from Frodo. It appeared that a lot of Pippin's bath had imitated a fountain and leaped on high. You don't know how I'd fix it either, to be honest. Yeah. The only thing I could really think of is splurging for the most expensive internet they have and hoping that the connection stays stable. But why would I trust them if they can't even keep it stable now? I don't know. It's rough. Mary went to the door. What about supper and beer in the throat? He called. That's right, bath songs. Like Splish Splash taking a bath or Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You make bath time oh so fun. Rubber Ducky. There's so much water in the air that I'm coming into the kitchen to finish, he said.